It's time for national anthem.
तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाये तव जय गाथा। जन गण मंगल गायन जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
जगदानंद कंदाय प्रणतार्ति हराय च नीलाचल निवासाय श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमामि। आज आमर लगी गोटे सौभाग्यर विषय। आमर गहन रे उपस्थित अच्छन आमर राज्यर महामहिम राज्यपाल प्रोफेसर गणेशी लाल जी। मंच रे उपस्थित अच्छन सभापति भाव रे डॉक्टर जयदेव सारंगी महोदय, रिटायर्ड आईएएस। मंच रे उपस्थित अच्छन श्री चिन्मय बसु, रिटायर्ड आईएएस। मंच रे उपस्थित अच्छन श्रीयुक्त राजेश महापात्र, एडिटर प्रेस ट्रस्ट ऑफ इंडिया एवं चाल देखमा कलाहांडी कन्वेनर श्रीयुक्त देवेंद्र बिसी महोदय। वर्तमान में अनुरोध करबी मंचासीन अतिथि मान के पुष्पगुच्छ प्रदान करी आमे स्वागत जनामा। अब मैं निवेदन करूंगा महामहिम राज्यपाल महोदय से और मंचासीन सभी अतिथियों को कि हमारे कलाहांडी के अधिष्ठात्री देवी मां माणिकेश्वरी के प्रतिकृति के सम्मुख प्रदीप प्रज्वलन कर आज के कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ करेंगे।
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम गणपतये नमो नमः, श्री सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः, अष्टविनायक नमो नमः, गणपति बाप्पा मोरया।
ओम गणपतये नमो नमः, श्री सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः, अष्टविनायक नमो नमः, गणपति बाप्पा मोरया।
ओम गणपतये नमो नमः, श्री सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः, अष्टविनायक नमो नमः, गणपति बाप्पा मोरया।
कलाहांडी कला झरन नाइन इतार मेल आमर सामने एक से एक ही जाए सन फेल जीवन जंजाल बड़ा कमाल आमे मनर रजा नाचू आमे गाइसू आमे गर्जी बासी बजा बोरिया बांगरी डाल खाई सांगे रसर केली हसुथिसी मोर गाँ और हसुथिसी गाँर खुली किसान पिला को मिया पिला खेते तार मन मुरर झाल टुणे मारी घर के आन सिधान नुआ खाई बंधुर मेले आमे मासू सबके मुड़िया और दुनिया जानी से आमे एक नंबर कलाहांडी सब कर नु बढ़िया. May I now request the President of this occasion, Dr. Jayadev Sarangi, retired IAS, and Chairman Chal Dekhma Aamar Kalahandi, to welcome the gathering and the dignitaries on stage. Dr. Sarangi.
Mahamaim, Rajyapal Mohoday, we are really fortunate in Kalahandi to have you in this function, sir. We all have been very proud of you being at the helm of affairs in Odisha. Your intellectual caliber, your communication skill is known all over the country. And we are extremely happy that you are with us now, and we want your blessings on this occasion. So, in the last more than a year, during the COVID times, we have been virtually meeting people from all cross sections of the society in different fields, and those who have done well, who have started from Kalahandi, or who have started working in Kalahandi and done some research in Kalahandi. Though it was started in a virtual mode, viewership was all over the country and across the world, and it was always put in the YouTube channel, in the social media, and the viewership has been excellent. After Corona situation was a little eased, we decided that we can have some of the people who have been working in Kalahandi, working for Kalahandi, or those who have been coming out of Kalahandi situation and they've been doing well in all walks of life across the country and across the globe. And today, we are lucky from all over the country. We have experts, we have people from Kalahandi who have done well in life. They have come here, they have spoken to this enlightened audience, and we think we would be coming out with some kind of strategy which could be a hallmark for future development of all walks of life. So, Honorable Sir, I would like to flag few issues which emerged out of all these discussions. One point that I would like to flag is, when we talk about any programs, any government initiatives, it cannot be fit-all situation. It cannot fit every situation. Like we have road network through Prime Minister Sadak Yojana, but there are some yardsticks. With a particular number of people being in a particular village, we can connect, or there are other parameters on the basis of which it is decided. But as you know, sir, in some corners of Kalahandi, there will be very small hamlets where 10 houses would be there. They do not have proper communication. So if they are not fitting into the existing government schemes, there has to be some kind of special dispensation, whether it is about medical facilities, whether it is about communication facilities, whether it is about educational facilities. If something is applied in a developed part of the state, if that situation is not available in our nook and corner, say in Thuamul Rampur or Jukse Patna or Bishwanathpur in Kalahandi, when I go there, I find some people, they want to study, but they cannot come to Bhavani Patna or any place where higher education is possible because economically they are not well off. And we do not have that kind of residential facilities in Bhavani Patna, which can support those people to come here and economically to also do it. So we got to tailor-make certain programs for people of Kalahandi, for far-off places in Kalahandi, so that whether it is healthcare facilities, whether it is educational facilities, because I remember going to Jaisalmer and Barmer as an election observer, and I found that in Jaisalmer, after 50 kilometers, there will be a small village with 10 people. So for that 10 people also, they are having a polling station. They are having water availability situation. So I think that kind of situation has to be devised in our place also, so that no person from Kalahandi, however remotely he is located or however poorly he is placed, should be deprived of the modern amenities, the education, healthcare, and communication. When I went to study in Delhi School of Economics from Kalahandi way back in 70s, Professor Rajkrishna was there. In Delhi School of Economics, they were talking about poverty of Kalahandi. And he told one thing which still goes in my mind. So long as your resources reach Kalahandi or Western Odisha is not communicated properly with the seat of power in Bhubaneswar and Cuttack, you are not going to develop. And today also, if I have to travel to Bhubaneswar, I'll have to go through Andhra Pradesh to reach there in 12 to 13 hours by train. So my submission very humbly would be, in case you have a special consideration for the special problems that we have in Kalahandi in terms of educational facility, in terms of bridge education program, because most of the people who are not educated in this kind of situation, when science has to be taught, mathematics has to be taught, a parent who is not educated enough will not be in a position to guide that child. So he is not properly placed. Like I was lucky, maybe I was in Bhavani Patna, and I had family and friends and other people in the neighborhood who could support me so that I could come to Delhi or I could compete in civil services examination or do whatever. But I owe everything I learned from Kalahandi for whatever situation I faced across the world. So there is no shortcoming in the people of Kalahandi, but there has been some systemic shortcomings, and we got to have a special consideration for all kind of needs that I would like to pray His Excellency to take into consideration. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Jayadev Sarangi, one of the proud sons of Kalahandi. May I now request guest on the dais, who was once collector of this land, and Kalahandi saw new hopes and had new dreams during his tenure. I request Sri Chinmay Basu, retired IS, to speak on this occasion. Sri Basu.
His Excellency, Honorable Governor, the other dignitaries on the dais, and ladies and gentlemen. Many of you who were there in the morning heard me a reasonable amount of time. I think you won't be eager to really have another onslaught from me. So I'll give a small, a few things that might interest you to know. As he said, when I came, perhaps the initiation started of Kalahandi in a new era. And let me tell you how I participated in that. I went to Lucknow for attending a meeting. I was collector of Ganjam. I landed at airport Bhubaneswar. The driver told me, you have to go to meet Chief Secretary. I said, why? He said, no, I have been advised by the PA over phone that I have to take you to Chief Secretary. So I went to the Chief Secretary. I met Chief Secretary. He was a well-known man. He was once Ranji Trophy, Odisha Ranji Trophy captain when his younger days. Name is Eli Parija. Mr. Parija told me, you have to go and join Kalahandi as collector. I was a little taken aback. Only 8 months back, I have come to Ganjam. My son has just joined 5 months back in the school across the house. Now suddenly again. But anyway, government has decided one has to go. So I said, okay, sir, I'll go by end of this month. He looked at me and said, within 3 days, you are joining there. Before the commission of the Supreme Court lands in Bhabanipatna, you will be there to receive them. That was the urgency then. And I tell you, when I came in 86, February, thereafter 2 years, it was a cyclone of work. I mean, all that have gone before that about Kalahandi in the newspapers, in the magazines, in TV, and all over the country, that people have come from different parts of the country, even from abroad, that has started yielding result. In fact, Chief Minister used to come almost every month. Prime Minister has come twice or thrice during my tenure. And Kalahandi really started having a lot of inputs in terms of expertise, in terms of money, in terms of efforts, everything else. And it didn't take much. Within 3 decades, the same Kalahandi and today's Kalahandi is so much different. Sir, I told in the morning, it was 7% was irrigation in Kalahandi when I was collector here. It is now around 70%. And there's so much of difference it makes. And that's the change you have. And there's been change in many other directions. And particularly of the people of Kalahandi, they have spread all over the country. There are many big people from Kalahandi today is honoring many big places in many companies, many NGOs, many in academics, in research, everywhere for that matter. But still, I would still say there are some people in Kalahandi, as I said in the morning, has missed the bus. Poverty is there. It is there everywhere. It is here also, so nothing big about it. But the point is, still various districts like Bastar district, I say the figure in the morning, Bastar district, then you have even Ladakh in Kashmir. Even such districts also, if you see the statistics, the literacy rate amongst male and females much more than what we have in Kalahandi. So health parameters are also not really very, I would say very a thing to be happy about. It's also much worse than national average. So that way on health and education are the two sectors that still need quite a lot of inputs. Industrial agriculture growth has happened substantially. Industries, there is effort going on. It's coming up. I'm seeing all around now while moving around this morning. But health and education is a sector in which there is more and more attention needed from all the parameters, from all the players who are there involved in the development administration. Thank you so much.
थैंक यू श्री बसु वर्तमान विभिन्न क्षेत्र रे उल्लेखनीय अवदान लगी आमे किसी योग्यतम संतान को ये मंच रे सम्मानित करमु. It's the time to felicitate some talents. और मैं महामहिम जी से निवेदन करूंगा कि उन प्रतिभाओं का संवर्धना करेंगे. First, I welcome Dr. Omkar Hota, Medical Officer of SDH Titlagarh, to please come to the stage. ये वही शख्स है जिनके ऊपर दामन पिक्चर बना हुआ है, दमन पिक्चर बना हुआ है. मिस्टर होता प्लीज. Late Karji Majhi is known as waterman of Kalahandi. And his Tankar puo Sundar Majhi सम्मान ग्रहण करिबे. Sundar Majhi. Next, Sri Vibhu Prasad Sahu, youth entrepreneur, to please come. Sri Vibhu Prasad Sahu. Sri Vaishnav Sahu, Dragon Fruits Cultivator. Sri Vaishnav Sahu, Dragon Fruits Cultivator. Sri Radhakant Seth, best columnist and regular writer of Samachar Just Click. And last but not the least, Mr. Ansu Gupta, founder Gunj, New Delhi, for his social services. And ladies and gentlemen, he is a Raman Magsaysay Awardee. Thank you, Your Excellency. Bartaman mo अनुरोध करिबी Editor, Press Trust of India and Guest of Honor, Sri Rajesh Mahapatra ji for his speech. Sri Mahapatra.
माननीय राज्यपाल प्रोफेसर गणेश लाल जी, चिन्मय बसु, मिस्टर जयदेव सड़ंगी, मिस्टर देवेंद्र बीसी, आज सभारे सामिल होइतिबा अतिथि वृंद समस्त को मोर जुहार नमस्कार ओळगी। प्रथमे भाविथिली कथाटी ओडिया रे रखिबी, किंतु आज सकाळू जेभଳି कार्यक्रम चलिला आ चलीछि मु भाबुछि इंग्लिश शुड बी ए प्रिफर्ड मीडियम, किछिटा हिंदी रे किछिटा इंग्लिश रे कहले भल हबो। मु जेतेबेले पहुंचली लोके अनेक लोक मते पचारले आपनकर कलाहांडी कनेक्ट कोन, तेणु आरंभ करिवा कलाहांडी कनेक्ट। कलाहांडी मु किभଳି देखे, मु कलाहांडी रो लोक नुहे, जदिओ मोर एंसेस्ट्रल रूट्स कोस्टल ओडिशा रे भी मु रही नाही। मोर जन्म संबलपुर जिले रे, संबलपुर सहर रे, बाल्यकाल बीतीची चित्रकुंडा असेंबली कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी नंबर 147, the farthest you can go from the capital of Bhubaneswar, capital of Odisha। आ किछिटा समय मु बरहमपुर रे रहिला परे दिल्ली चली जाइथिली पढिबा। ता परठुर आमे दिल्लीवासी होइकि रहिछु। 1991 मसिया रे गोटे इंडियन काउंसिल फॉर सोशल साइंस रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट मते कलाहांडी आसीबार सुजोग मिलिला। सेही समय रे चिन्मय बाबू आउ अनेक बंधु एठी अछंती, उमा बाबू एमान सहित प्रथम थर देखा हेतिला। कलाहांडी सेते बेले अनाहार मृत्यु पई खबर कागज रे हेडलाइन बनथला। गोटे यंग स्कॉलर उपरे एई जिनिसटी अनेक विचलित भी करूथला। जोठी को जाऊ लोक कहती, अरे आपके स्टेट में लोग को खाना नहीं मिलता है, बड़ा भुखमरी है सुनते हैं। निश्चित रूपे जो बयस मु जाइଥିଲି सेटा बहुत विचलित करतला। इच्छा थिला एई समस्यार मूल कारण कौन से गोटे को दिन गोटे तार अनुसंधान करबा। से मौका मिलला आईसीएसआर प्रोजेक्ट हिसाब रे। तापरे मु 1992 1992 में my love story with Kalahandi began. I decided to do my research on Kalahandi. I took up 30 years data from 1960-61. The reason why I'm carrying this booklet is when I asked about a lot of things about Kalahandi, people talk about a lot of things, but they don't give you the data. They don't give you hard evidence. So I thought it would be a service because I had done this work and abandoned it, like any other lazy journalist. So I thought I will bring this work and let this be a reference, and you will find it a useful reference. And I will, I will pull out a few things which I think will be very relevant to the discussion, to place all the discussions you have had since morning in an informed context. And that is why I might take 1 or 2 minutes, Honorable Governor, with your permission, more to explain a few things. So, since 1992, Kalahandi has given me a lot. It actually changed my professional course, right? The career that I chose, the way I went about doing things, everything changed from here. Kalahandi has taught me a lot, and I keep learning. Kalahandi has been a university for me, and I have been its student. That is my Kalahandi Connect. Today, when I come here, I sat through all day listening to all of you. I saw that student returning to me again. And when I look at all of you, I see you are all students. You are all researchers. And Kalahandi is that university, which has thrown us many questions. We do not have all the answers. But the justice that we owe to Kalahandi is to make that quest to search for those answers. आज सुबह से जितने सारे बातें हुई, जब मेरे को पहले फोन आया था दिल्ली में कि देखिए कलाहंडी बदल गया है और कलाहंडी के बारे में लोग ऐसे अभी भी उल्टा सोचते हैं, हम चाहते हैं कि आप जैसे मीडिया के लोग हमारे मदद करें, आप आइए और आप दूसरे लोगों को बोलिए कि कलाहंडी बदल गया है। तो मुझे थोड़ा सा अजीब लगा कि क्योंकि 2009 में चुनाव के समय जब आया था तो मैंने भी कलाहंडी देखा, मैंने भी इंद्रावती प्रोजेक्ट का कमाल देखा, मैंने भी जो है कई सारे जो पार्च्ड एरियाज थे वहां पे कैसे धान उग रहे हैं वो देखा, मैंने भवानी पटना शहर के हुलिया बदलते हुए देखा। मैं आज आकर जिस होटल में रह रहा हूं, मैं आके पूछ रहा था कि वो प्रमोद कुमारी साहब कहाँ हैं। 1992 में मैं उनसे मिला था जब वो बस कंडक्टर थे। 2009 में आया तो मैंने कहा अरे कलाहंडी में होटल आ गया, वहां लिफ्ट भी है, ये तो प्रोग्रेस हो गया। पता चला वो होटल प्रमोद कुमारी जी का है। तो मुझे अभी एक बात याद है, 2009 में मैंने उनको कोट करते हुए लिखा था, मैंने कहा कैसे बदला है। उन्होंने कहा साहब पहले मैनेजर और कस्टमर 1-2 रुपए के लिए झगड़ते थे, आज के डेट पर कस्टमर कहता है कीप द चेंज, कीप द चेंज, दैट इज द चेंज दैट हैज हैपेंड। आई गॉट वेरी मूव्ड, सो आई रोट a big piece in Hindustan Times, those days I was there, that in India's hunger capital, hunger lives no more. Yes, it is true. What has once come to be known as India's hunger capital, hunger lives no more. But celebrate we must. Celebrate we must, but we will be committing a sin that cannot be forgiven if we overlook or set aside the challenges that still remain. प्रथम कथा से गोटे केवल जिन देखा चाहूँगी, आज सकाळठु मु भाबुथिली आपण माने समस्त कहि चली जे कलाहांडी रो गोटे समय खाद्य अभाव थिला, आज नाही। कलाहांडी रे केबे हेले खाद्य अभाव नथिला। ए जो चार्ट गोटे देखिबे आपण, एठी 3टा लाइन चलीची। सबुठु ऊपर per capita food grain production of Kalahandi. Per capita food grain production of Kalahandi has all along averaged nearly 2 times that of all India average. It is a misnomer that Kalahandi produced less food. If people died, and people did die, we cannot forgo that fact. Baidyanath Commission, Mr. Commission established that there were 6 starvation deaths. If people died, it is because there is still a lot of poverty. There was a lot of poverty. There is still a lot of poverty in this region, which allows endemic hunger, chronic undernourishment to persist. And if there is a starvation producing process that kind of overlaps with that, few triggers here and there can push back people to hunger. So celebrate you must, but you cannot be complacent. And we saw that during pandemic. I did a small research project during the pandemic, and I found all our returning migrants were actually starving. They were not eating as much as they ought to be eating. So hunger has returned to many parts of Odisha. Let us not forget that. Hunger has returned to many parts of India. So we can celebrate our accomplishment, but we cannot be complacent. Today, the concerns that were raised, it was very heartening, starting with Mr. Chinmay Basu, who said, despite everything, your literacy is 56% or 58%. What is worse, female literacy in Kalahandi is 44%. The gap between overall literacy between the national rate and the Kalahandi rate is 15%. But when it comes to female literacy, the gap doubles. The gap doubles. It is shameful. Infant mortality, maternal mortality. You are celebrating Kalahandi. Do you know Nuapada has a better rate than you? Nuapada was part of the erstwhile Kalahandi. How is it that Nuapada has gone ahead of Kalahandi? That question needs to be answered. Is it Kalahandi that has turned around, or is it Bhavanipatna that has turned around? Depending the answer that you will find, if it is Bhavanipatna that has turned around, that is a matter of even bigger concern. So my suggestion is, and I will end there, what my study found, that Kalahandi has never had a problem with food production. Kalahandi, yes, suffered from huge instability in rainfall. Rainfall used to be very erratic. But if you look back at Kalahandi's history, farmers over a period of time developed coping mechanism with traditional irrigation structures and with the kind of cropping pattern they followed. I was happy today a concern was raised that yes, we are producing a lot of paddy, but we are risking crop diversification and crop resilience to climatic change. And if we want to be climate friendly, now we need to be addressing that question. I was happy that the question of education, literacy, and healthcare came up. It was heartening to hear that yes, Bhavanipatna and in and around, things have changed. But in Thuamal Rampur, in Boden, in Komna, in several other places, we still have people living in abject poverty. Migration, out-migration is still a reality. So once we know our problem, it is not difficult to find a solution. I was happy, and then somebody said, and I was very happy because he said that, what is the kind of Kalahandi we want? Jodo Kalahandi, na Jivanta Kalahandi. I think that was a very good intervention. What does a Jivanta Kalahandi mean? Several things the speaker explained. I want to add one thing. The Jivanta Kalahandi, a democratic spirit will have to be intrinsic to it. And that is where I will bring in what the 2 other politicians said, that we need to be behaving like citizens. Kalahandi is part of independent India, democratic India. It is no longer a part of a princely state. We need to have citizens' rights, responsibilities, duties, all exercised. We do not want a reinforcement of the king-subject relationship that perpetuated poverty and impoverishment for decades. With that, I would suggest, with all the beautiful suggestions that have come up today, with all the concerns that have been raised, and this is a fantastic platform, and let this not be an event-like response to what Kalahandi has achieved or not achieved. Let this be a beginning of a process. We think about setting up a working group, and I'm happy to contribute to it, and that will keep bringing me back to Kalahandi and revisit my research work. Let's reimagine Kalahandi. We are in 2023. Kalahandi was set up as a separate district on 1st of November 1949. My suggestion to this August gathering would be, in 2024, November 1, when Kalahandi completes 75 years, Kalahandi at 75, let's reimagine this region. Let's reimagine the aspirations of the people. Let's rearticulate the ambitions of our people. And let's set up a task force from now in a steady, informed manner. Let us create a blueprint for that new Kalahandi that you want to see. Thank you very much. I end with hope and
थैंक यू मिस्टर महापात्र वर्तमान अनुरोध करी चाल देखमा कलाहांडी चाल देखमा आमर कलाहांडी चेयरमैन एवं कन्वेनर महोदय को महामहिम राज्यपाल सम्मानार्थे प्रीति उपहार प्रदान करबे उत्तरीय प्रदान करबे। अभी तमाम विनम्रताओं के साथ निवेदन करूंगा भारतवर्ष के अन्यतम ज्ञानी गुणी पांडित्य के अधिकारी जिनका शब्द
जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भवतु में ऑनरेबल श्रीयुक्त राजेश महापात्र जी, एडिटर प्रेस ट्रस्ट ऑफ इंडिया, ऑनरेबल डॉक्टर जयदेव सरंगी जी, चेयरमैन ऑफ दिस अगस्त हाउस you can say, and Honorable Shri Debendra Kumar Bisi ji, and Honorable Shri Chinmaya Vasu ji. Dignitaries, celebrities, and celebrating Kalahandi, जोहार, प्रणाम, अभिनंदन, शुभेच्छा। कालाहांडी से हम जो समझे हैं कि कालिया के लिए जो हांडी में भोजन बनता है वो कालाहांडी है। अगर हांडी में भोजन बनना बंद हो जाए तो कालिया भूखा मर जाए, और कालिया का अगर पेट तब भरता है जब पूरे ब्रह्मांड के 7 ट्रिलियन प्लैनेट्स का पेट भरता है। 70,000 करोड़ ऐसे उनका पेट भरने के बाद ही उसका पेट भरता है। सो दैट इज इन माय ओपिनियन, इन माय ऑब्जर्वेशन इज कालाहांडी। My friend Jayadev, he was lifting certain questions, and Honorable Chinmaya Vasu has answered those questions a little bit, you say, from 7% to 70%, that is what he was talking, you say. इसका प्रमाण देश के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने दिया है। जिस कालाहांडी की बात हम करते हैं उसी की बेटी को, उसी के आसपास के रहने वाली बेटी को दुनिया को बता दिया है कि आदि शक्ति की संतान है हम। अपनी इस बेटी को देश का राष्ट्रपति, पहला सिटीजन बनाकर दुनिया को समझा दिया है कि ट्राइबल क्या होता है, कैसा है हमारा प्रदेश। Well, as far as tribal people are concerned, we are all born tribals, you see. It is unfortunate that we are not tribals. हम आपको एक कहानी सुनाते हैं। राम अयोध्या के राजा बन गए। आपको सबको जानकारी होगी कि जब राम ने लिस्ट देखा कि कौन कौन गेस्ट बुलाए गए हैं, तो उसने भरत को कहा, भाई तुम जानते हो, बुला लो जिसको बुलाना, पर मुझे लिस्ट तो दिखाओ जरा, एक बार देखता हूं। तो उसने कहा, यह तो मोस्ट प्रोमिनेंट आदमी रह गया, जिसको चीफ गेस्ट बनाना है उस केवट को बुलाओ और उसको चीफ गेस्ट बनाओ। एंड केवट वाज अडोर्न्ड एज द पोस्ट थ्रोन ऑफ चीफ गेस्ट, यू सी, राम के राज्याभिषेक के समय दरबार में सब लोग बैठा है। मां कौशल्या जाती हैं कि पुत्र भोजन कर लीजिए। चारों भाई भोजन करने के लिए चल पड़ते हैं। मां एक प्रश्न करती है कि ये बताइए, जब तुम पढ़ रहे थे तो वशिष्ठ और अरुंधति ने जो भोजन कराया वो स्वादिष्ट था, या जनक की पत्नी सुनैना ने तुमको भोजन कराया वो स्वादिष्ट था, या आज मैंने तुमको जो भोजन कराती हूं वो स्वादिष्ट है? राम चुप रहे थोड़ी देर, फिर कहने लगी मां के रहने दो, अगर तुमको नहीं बताना तो कोई बात नहीं। तो राम ने कहा नहीं मां, आपने प्रश्न किया है तो बताता हूं। अरुंधति ने मुझे भोजन कराया, शिष्य को कराया। सुनैना ने कराया तो अपने दामाद को कराया। तुमने कराया तो अपने पुत्र को कराया। पर शबरी ने जो हमें भोजन कराया वो सबसे मीठा और सबसे स्वादिष्ट था, क्योंकि उसने सर्वस्व दिया था। That is the case with Hanuman also, and that is the case with Jatayu also. तो इसलिए मेरा निवेदन है हमारे महापात्रा जी से, राजेश जी से भी, चिन्मय जी से भी, जयदेव जी से भी, कि we people, this Kalahandi, not only Kalahandi, but the whole of Odisha is a state of psychic perfection. We don't talk of democracy, we talk of spiritual democracy. There is no demarcation between the common and the cosmic. ब्रह्मांड का नायक हो या छोटे से छोटा अणु हो, even if a leaf falls down, you say, it becomes a food for a worm or an insect or a tree or animal. एक छोटा सा पत्ता भी गिरने के बाद किस किस का भोजन बनता है, आप सबको ध्यान में है। तो as far as we tribal people are concerned, they are basically belonging to अरण्य संस्कृति, जो भारत की बेसिक संस्कृति थी। ना चोरी जाने, ना झूठ बोलना जाने, नहीं जानते हैं, कभी नहीं जानते हैं। सेल्फ स्टडी, self refinement and self restraint, minimum needs, you see, preventing the misuse of the sense organs, controlling the thought process, everything whichever is expected from a sadhak, karam yogi, tapasvi, manasvi, the 12 attributes which have been defined, you see, simplicity, humility, aspiration, gratitude, receptivity, courage, perseverance, generosity, equanimity, peace and goodness. These things, these qualities reside in their heart, you see. They are the manifestations of all these things. People shall have to learn. And Honorable Prime Minister has given a signal to the whole of the world, you see, that where India stands and what India is after all. We are proud to say that we are a tribal country, you see. I should be proud to say that I am a tribal country. राम को श्री राम किसने बना दिया? कृष्ण को श्री कृष्ण किसने बनाया? शिवा को छत्रपति शिवाजी किसने बनाया? गोविंद को गुरु गोविंद सिंह चंपत राय यहीं से हैं, पुरी से, 5 प्यारों में। जिस किसी को भी अपना प्रोग्रेस से एवोल्यूशन की तरफ जाना है, जिसको जगन्नाथ के दर्शन करने हैं, जिसको लॉर्ड कृष्णा से मोहब्बत करनी है, वी आर ऑफ कोर्स द वैलेंटाइन ऑफ द डिवाइन, बट divine should be my valentine, that tribal can speak, nobody else can now. Those who have got the minds and intellect, they can never speak of Lord Jagannatha. Mind and this intellect, you see, creates space, dualities. And wherever there is space, gaps, space where, तो फिर वहां पर लव और ब्यूटी नहीं उपस्थित हो सकता. यूक्रेन और रशिया के अंदर स्पेस ना हो तो युद्ध नहीं होता. बट सिंस देयर इज स्पेस बिटवीन द टू कंट्रीज, चाइना को अब थोड़ा लगता है हमारा स्पेस कम होता जा रहा है भारत के साथ. 17th deliberations के बाद चाइना हैज tried to follow India doesn't believe in space between two countries, you see. So that is happening over there. Dr. Jayadev was mentioning certain things and he was speaking only this way, that this district Kalahandi should not only be aspirational towards the divine, it should be inspirational also. The remotest possible corners, nook and corners of my Odisha should give fragrance, melody and sweetness to the world all around, you see. That is what he wants, you see. Well, that is happening there. That is happening in 60 of the countries in the whole of the world. Odisha people, Odia people are giving a lesson to the world at large, that if there is beauty and peace and light hovering over the sky and wanted to visit this earth and waiting to visit this earth, I am here. Odia people speak to the world at large that I am here and we will bring down beauty, light and peace to this world, you see. धरा और गगन का मिलन कराने की हिम्मत अगर किसी में है और कोई कर सकता है तो उड़ीसा कर सकता है. इसीलिए तो राष्ट्रपति हैं हम. पैसे के मालिक हम हैं, आरबीआई के गवर्नर, सीएजी के चीफ हम हैं. अभी शिक्षा की बात कर रहे थे, शिक्षा जगत में हम हैं, धर्मेंद्र प्रधान. प्रधानमंत्री के ऑफिस में कितने गिनाऊं आपको नाम? पीके मिश्रा से शुरू करें, प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी. वेल, उड़ीसा इज ऑलमोस्ट द होल ऑफ इंडिया. उड़ीसा तो पूरा भारतवर्ष है. हाँ, आपकी ये बात सही है कि उड़ीसा को पूरा विश्व बनना है, वो ठीक है. वो बनने जा रहे हैं, वो बनने जा रहे हैं. उसको नो स्टूपिड फोर्स कैन प्रिवेंट अस फ्रॉम दैट, यू सी. कोई दुनिया की ताकत हमें रोक नहीं सकती है. Odisha will rise like a rocket, is a star. Odisha is rising like a star. It will be a shining, vibrant, rising Odisha is in the times to come. Savitri में महर्षि अरविंद लिखते हैं, let us uplift the earth out of darkness towards the divine. Let us raise the world to God in deathless light. Let us bring God down to the insentient globe. इस आसक्त दुनिया के अंदर कौन लेकर आएगा उस जगन्नाथ को धरती पर? लिफ्टिंग द अर्थ बीइंग्स टू इमॉर्टैलिटी. कौन अमरता का संदेश देगा दुनिया में? वेल, उड़ीसा इज mentally, spiritually prepared for it, you see, and is going to prepare more heavily, more beautifully, you see, as far as Odisha is concerned, you see. So as far as Odisha is concerned, let me conclude like this. It is a state of renunciation and service. It is a state of abstinence and sustenance. It is a state of care and share for all. It is a state of equal and one. Advaitam, Anantam, Anandam. One is infinite, one is love. That is what this stage. Negativity, यहाँ कोई नहीं जानता. हाँ, मेरे जैसे बाहर से आने वाले जरूर जानते हैं. उड़ीसा का आदमी और ट्राइबल तो जानता ही नहीं है. वो तो पॉजिटिविटी के अलावा कुछ नहीं जानता. नॉन ड्यूलिस्टिक है, प्लूरलिस्टिक है, इंक्लूसिव है. वो तो हर एक के साथ ऐसे जुड़ा हुआ है जैसे विजुअल गारमेंट ऑफ गॉड है, जैसे सीक्रेट नेचर इज हिडन गॉड. वो तो वास्तव में रैप्चर ऑफ द ब्लिस है, बीम ऑफ द ओमनी साइंस है, पुश ऑफ द फोर्स ऑफ द ओमनी पोटेंट है. That is what a tribal is. उसका तो पूरा का पूरा प्रकृति है. And Einstein says once you go into the lap of the nature, you see, anger, anxiety, agitation, and irritation disappear, and your intelligence goes up by 100%. And Lord Krishna speak to Arjuna, Yajjadan tapaha karmana tyajyam karyam ev tat yajjadan tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Sacrifice, charity, and austerity. These purify the great souls. And that is what a tribal is, you see. दान कैसा करता है वो? He doesn't exist, sir. He never existed. He says, I don't exist, I never existed, I will never exist. So हम जिसको scriptures में बोलते हैं. Well, that is what a tribal is. Therefore, as far as tribal culture is concerned, it is Jagannath's culture. Accept all, love all, respect all. Entertain everybody without accepting the thought. आप कुछ बोलते हैं उसको समझ में नहीं आए फिर भी बेपना मोहब्बत करें. That is what Aristotle says, you see. So therefore, as far as my state, this Odisha is concerned, it is not a state. It is सीधा सीधा बैकुंठ लोक है, छोटा बैकुंठ लोक है. इसलिए don't worry about Jayadev ji and don't worry about Chinmay ji. Take it for granted. Take it for granted. Now this is an age, you see. God, divinity has ordained the destiny of mankind, you see. And a new age is emerging, a new edifice, a new world order, a new culture. An era, an age of open mind, tender heart. गीता मम हृदय पार्थ. और हमको समझाया है यहाँ आने पर कि भगवान जगन्नाथ भगवान कृष्ण का दिल है. जयदेव जी, हमको बाजार में ढूंढने पर किसी कीमत पर भी ना माइंड मिलता है ना बुद्धि मिलती है. हाँ, हार्ट का ट्रांसप्लांट कराना हो तो कर देगा डॉक्टर. किसी भी बड़े बड़े सर्जन से भी पूछिए कि भाई जरा बुद्धि और माइंड निकाल कर दिखाइए. यस, वी हैव गॉट द माइंड. इट इज द माइंड ऑफ गॉड विच इज द कॉस्मिक म्यूजिक एंड कॉस्मिक लव रेजोनेटिंग थ्रू आउट द हाइपर स्पेस. एंड इट इज द माइंड of God, you see. It is the divine river of wisdom clearing all the chaos, anarchism and nonsense, whatever is prevailing in India, I see, or in the world at large. हमारा है माइंड, हमारा है इंटेलेक्ट, पर वो हमारा माइंड और इंटेलेक्ट जगन्नाथ का है. बिकॉज ही हैज डिफाइंड मी एंड आस्क्ड मी टू बी इंद्रियाणि प्राणी आहु इंद्रिय भय परामना मनसुता परा बुद्ध्यो बुद्धे परा तस्तुसा. यू आर नॉट माइंड, you are not intellect, you are vast and immeasurable. Take it for granted. This world can be measured. Therefore, this is false, you see, and impotent. जिस चीज का मेजरमेंट होता है वो फॉल्स होती है. हिमालय को माप लीजिए, फॉल्स है. आप अपने आप को माप लीजिए, अगले दिन बढ़ जाएंगे 2 सेकंड 4 सेकंड. It is totally false. It is there, it exists there unless otherwise it is to be manifested into the spirit. अगर जगन्नाथ इसमें नहीं है तो आप कहीं नहीं हैं. वंदे उत्कल जननी भारत माता की जय.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your kind and beautiful words. Now it's time for a vote of thanks. And I welcome Sri Debendra Kumar Bisi, Convenor, Samachar Just Click, to extend vote of thanks.
चाल देखमा आमर कलाहांडी कॉन्क्लेव उपस्थित महामहिम राज्यपाल कलाहांडीवासी को जेभली भाव में ओजस्विनी भाषण रे समस्त को मंत्रमुग्ध कले निश्चित भाव में आमपाई स्मरणीय हो रहिबो. तेणु कलाहांडीवासी तरफ महामहिम राज्यपाल महोदय को मोर कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन करछि. एवं आज ए अवसर रे पीटीआई रो एडिटर श्रीयुक्त राजेश महापात्र महोदय एवं कलाहांडी रो पूर्वतन जिलापाल जे ए बयस कलाहांडी को एते भल पाउछंती कोलकाता रो सुदूर आसी आमको जो उत्साहित कले. तेणु कलाहांडीवासी तरफ तांको धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करछि. एवं सर्वोपरि आज अध्यक्ष श्रीयुक्त जयदेव सारंगी महोदय एवं समस्त उपस्थित कलाहांडीवासी को मु धन्यवाद एवं कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन करछि। नमस्कार, जोहार।
National anthem, please.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष समागे गाई तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।